What really happened during the recent meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky? And why did the discussions reportedly leave Kyiv without the outcome it was hoping for? The high-profile meeting in Washington drew global attention as expectations were high on both sides. For Ukraine, this was seen as a crucial opportunity to secure new long-range missile systems and reaffirm U.S. support. For Washington, it was a chance to reassess the situation in Eastern Europe and to explore possible diplomatic solutions to one of the most complex regional disputes in the world. However, according to multiple Western media outlets, the conversation between the delegations was far from simple. Reports describe moments of tension, direct exchanges, and difficult questions, particularly around the future of the Donbas region and the limits of American assistance. The outcome of this meeting has sparked a wave of analysis and speculation. Was this a turning point in U.S.-Ukrainian relations, or simply a new phase in a much longer and more complicated process? According to the Washington Post, Steve Witkoff, the U.S. President's special envoy, raised the issue of the Donbas region during the Friday meeting. The publication reports that Witkoff emphasized the complexity of the area, describing it as predominantly Russian-speaking and suggesting that a political settlement might be necessary. While the Ukrainian side was reportedly hoping to leave Washington with new agreements, particularly on the supply of long-range Tomahawk missiles, the discussions ended without such commitments. Western analysts say the U.S. delegation took a firm but cautious stance, focusing instead on broader questions of regional stability and diplomatic balance. As CNN reported, the meeting was described by officials as direct and honest. President Trump made it clear that the United States is not ready to provide long-range missile systems at this stage. He underlined that Washington's position remains focused on preventing further escalation while seeking ways to encourage negotiations. The outlet Axios added that the talks were challenging, and one insider described them as not particularly productive. Other Western publications echoed this assessment, noting that the discussions reflected the growing complexity of maintaining unity among Ukraine's Western partners. For Kyiv, the outcome was disappointing. Securing advanced U.S. weapons had been one of Zelensky's key priorities, both for practical defense reasons and as a political message of continued American backing. However, analysts believe that Washington's current strategy is centered on diplomacy and financial aid rather than new large-scale arms transfers. Observers also point out that the U.S. administration, under Trump's leadership, appears to be recalibrating its approach to global conflicts, emphasizing negotiation over escalation. The question of Donbas was reportedly raised in that broader context as part of a discussion on long-term peace frameworks rather than immediate territorial changes. Meanwhile, European capitals are closely watching Washington's signals. For many EU governments, the outcome of the Trump-Zelensky talks could influence how future military and financial support for Ukraine is structured. So, what can we take away from this meeting? While no concrete agreements were reached, it clearly revealed shifting priorities in U.S. foreign policy toward dialogue, restraint, and a search for balance. For Ukraine, the message was equally clear. Continued support remains possible, but within carefully defined limits. The future of the Donbas issue, and indeed of the entire regional situation, will depend on whether all sides can turn diplomatic tension into a framework for practical negotiation. As the global spotlight remains on Washington and Kyiv, the world watches to see if this meeting marks a new beginning or another chapter in a long and complicated story.